Good day, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the possibilities of automating work with SharePoint using Microsoft Flow. On several projects, I have heard clients asking how to implement a logic that tracks certain incoming files, such as invoices or scanned documents from clients, and ensures they are automatically saved and not lost. The goal is to minimize the human factor in the document management system. Therefore, my video will consist of several parts. In general, I want to talk about how we implemented a logic on one of our projects to create SharePoint folders with proper naming conventions for a company. As you may know, the usual folder naming in SharePoint often includes not just a specific field, but it can be anything like a company, lead, opportunity, etc., along with a very long guide to ensure the folder's uniqueness. This kind of naming is not very convenient or pleasant for people who frequently work with SharePoint. Therefore, we decided to create a flow that, when a new company is created, will generate a folder on SharePoint with the appropriate name. I would like to pause here and highlight a few points. SharePoint is quite particular and has some nuances to keep in mind when setting up such automation synchronization. Firstly, SharePoint does not allow certain characters in folder names. I have created a formula that includes the name of a newly created company, and we have a trigger for when a new company is added, meaning a new record in the company's table. I remove characters that SharePoint does not accept. It will immediately fail if any of these characters are in the folder name. You can see in the list which specific characters had to be removed, various brackets, signs like "are" and more. I won't dwell on it. Additionally, we removed all extra spaces from folder names to ensure there is no space at the end of the name, making it visually convenient for the user to see the folder name. After this, in the Document Locations folder, we find the document location corresponding to the Accounts library and add the document location for the folder with the new company we are creating. Then, checking again to ensure there are no slashes in the company name, we create a folder in the company's library on SharePoint and link this folder in Document Locations. This ensures that when a user goes to the company record and clicks Related, the documents related to that company open correctly, preventing any integration issues or incorrect document links. These are a few nuances to keep in mind. Be cautious with the automatic naming of folders on SharePoint because, firstly, there are issues with certain characters, and secondly, if there are spaces at the end, the flow will fail and create a folder on SharePoint. So, once we have a SharePoint folder for each company, the second integration step is to set up a flow that filters incoming emails directed to the company. This flow will only select emails with attachments and save these attachments to the appropriate SharePoint folder by identifying the specific company from which the documents originated. This was accomplished using shared mailboxes. You can create a shared mailbox in the Admin Center under the Teams and Groups section, or, as we did, you can use an existing technical user, such as CRM admin, and configure it as a technical shared mailbox. In our scenario, we set up Outlook for all users involved in the document saving logic from their clients. This logic only applies to a specific department, so only a certain list of users needs this setup. Each user must configure a rule in their Outlook settings for redirecting emails. This is straightforward. Just add a filter for all emails with attachments. During testing, I noticed it's crucial to use the redirect to option rather than forward to. If you use forward to, the email will appear as if it came from the user who forwarded it. Using redirect to ensures the email appears to come from the original sender. Additionally, you need to copy this email to the user's inbox so it is not lost and the user can still see and open it. Essentially, the email remains in the user's folder and is also sent to our CRM admin mailbox. Accordingly, how did we implement the search for the company from which this email with the attachment was sent? First, we search for companies by the From email. If this email is found among the company's emails, we quickly identify the company and store its ID in a variable. If no such company exists, we added an operator to check the length. This means that if the list of rows does not find any records with this filter and the length is 0, we then try to search for the company by related contacts. Similarly, we search for contacts with the from email, and if we find it, meaning the length is greater than 1, we save the related account ID. If we don't find the email from which the attachment was sent in either the company or the contact, we decided to create a separate folder on SharePoint called General Documents. This folder will store files that the flow couldn't automatically determine where to place. The Office Manager will periodically review this folder to determine the correct storage location on SharePoint. If we find the appropriate account for storing the file, we ultimately obtain the company ID. We then find the document location, extract the related URL, and specify the folder address where the attachment name and content, taken from the trigger, should be saved. I will probably demonstrate a few options on how this can be done, showing different branches of how it saves. For starters, if this were, for example, a real client, I have one of the test submissions with my email saved in the test contacts. So, I think I can send it to myself, and it will save it directly into the SharePoint folder of that test company. Now, I'm sending it. Let's say the subject is something, and there's a file attached. I've prepared an image with Dynamics, and I'm sending it to the email. Accordingly, it will arrive to me here, and it will also arrive at the mailbox of this technical user. The flow connected to Outlook doesn't work immediately. It might take about 20-30 seconds, maybe a minute. In the meantime, let's check the runs. Yes, I tested it 2 hours ago to make sure everything works, so we need to wait a bit. While waiting, I think I'll go to my other mailbox, which isn't in CRM. Let's check again. Just now, it's running, and we can open it to see where it went. So, it successfully ran, and the flow found the company and saved it. We can even check what exactly it found, whether it was a company or a contact. It found the account and saved the file in its folders. So, we're going to SharePoint. This is the folder of the company that's linked to my email. This file, dynamics365.png, was modified about a minute ago. And now, another scenario, when we send an email from a mailbox that's not in the CRM. Let's do that, using the same file, and send it. The email will be sent to both mailboxes, which is important to ensure that client emails are not lost. So, it arrived in my mailbox as a company user and also in the mailbox of our system user. Now, let's see how the flow worked. Yes, we'll have to wait here. I probably won't be able to do anything else simultaneously. At this point, it should follow the path where it doesn't find anyone or anything. 3 seconds ago, it finished processing. It searched for companies, found none, searched for contacts, found none, and saved the file in the general folder, Accountants Undistributed Files. A few seconds ago, we received this file. In this way, automation of document management is ensured, eliminating the human factor where someone might forget to save some documents, link invoices, or pay invoices on time, which could result in penalties and so on. Such potential issues can be resolved through automation. I also wanted to add regarding SharePoint. I increasingly encounter issues where it fails either due to a global Microsoft outage or something on the user's end. As for error handling, after creating a folder, if you try to add something and it fails, logging the error or sending an email notification about the failure isn't always appropriate, depending on the specific business process. However, it is very helpful in some cases because there are moments. If a specific Create SharePoint connector fails, in our case, it results in an email being sent back to the client, informing them that their file wasn't uploaded. If providing feedback to the client isn't possible, feedback can be recorded in Dataverse, perhaps in an error table, indicating the failure. Why? Because there was a time when SharePoint was down for an entire day, and the flow kept trying until it finally gave up and stopped. That's all from me. Thank you all for your attention. Bye.